Hi everybody, my name is Sean Hennessy and this is the Spalding University Wood and Metal Shop. I run the shop for the Creative Arts Department, and this video will serve as a basic orientation on some best practices for being in the shop and working with the tools. There'll be some other videos that come along that will get into some more specific instructions on how to use tools. And of course, you should never use a tool without having first gone through orientation and used it supervised by me. I am the only shop supervisor here at Spalding. I have to be here at the shop whenever you are working. If I'm not here, you should not be in this room. Okay, so let's get started with a few simple rules for being here at the Wood and Metal Shop. Shop hours are always posted on the door to the shop in the basement of the mansion here. And I also tend to email them around at the beginning of the term. And you can always email me at shennessy.spalding.edu and ask me. When you enter the shop, there is a sign-up sheet over on the bookshelf, and I would like everyone to sign in, unless you were here with a class. If you're here with a class, then I'll know that you were here because you were here with your class. But if you are coming for independent work time, I'd like to know who's here. This isn't to get anyone in trouble, this is just to know who comes in and out of the shop so that we can show people how many people are using our awesome facility. It's up to you to regulate if you feel up to being here or not. If you are exceptionally sleepy, or if you are using any kind of medication that impairs you from operating machinery, please do not come in here and use any of the tools. Wait until you feel up to it. And that is on you to regulate how you feel. You have to let me know, all right? No food or beverages are allowed in the shop. You can have a capped water bottle, and I ask that you keep it over on the bookshelf by the sign-in sheet. Please do not put it on any of the tools or take it anywhere else and walk over there to take a drink and leave it there, all right? If you need to eat before you come, or go out into the hall or somewhere else to eat your lunch. Also, no outside phone calls in the shop. It can be very distracting, and if any tools are running, you're not going to be able to hear anyway. So I ask that if you do get a phone call, you go out in the hallway to talk to the person that called you. There's no running in the shop or any kind of disruptive behavior. The tools that we have in the shop are very dangerous, and you could distract someone else who's working or hurt yourself, and we don't want that. It's very important that you never distract anyone who's using a tool. That could be very dangerous for them. If you need to get someone's attention and they're using a tool, wait until they've stopped using the tool, or at least taken a step back away from it where they can't get hurt, especially in the case of the lathe or any of the power sanders. Please keep all walkways and doorways clear. Don't ever set up stools or ladders in the middle of walkway or door. Don't lay things out on the floor to work. Try to stick to the work tables and stay out of the way so that there's a clear traffic pattern. Don't ever set up ladders or stools on any of the uneven surfaces here in the shop, especially the ramps or stairs. That is very dangerous and a way to get hurt. And be careful not to create any kind of tripping hazards with extension cords or air hoses. It's natural that there will be some cords across the floor at times and air hoses stretched across the floor, but there are some best practices to keep people from tripping, which I will demonstrate. One way to prevent tripping hazards here in the shop is to use the overhead extension cord. It's retractable. You pull out as much as you need. Works great on this table right here underneath it, or you can take it to a different table. Try not to let it lay across the floor. And it has 3 outlets on it, so you can share with somebody else. When you're done, gently pull and let it retract without snapping back. Nice and slow. If you're not working near enough to the retractable extension cord reel, maybe you're not working at that table or someone else is using it, you may have to just use a regular old extension cord. Best practice in the shop to keep from having a tripping hazard is plug it into the outlet that is nearest your table without having to string it all the way across the floor of the shop. So for instance, this work table over here in front of the tool cabinet plug in right here by the lathe. And that way, I don't have so much cord laying across the floor. It's also a good idea to tell the people working around you, hey, watch out for the cord. When you're done, coil the cord up. An easy way to do that is to hold it in your hand and coil it around your elbow like this. If you want to be super fancy, when you're done, you can squish the coil and wrap both ends in opposite directions around it, and then plug the cord together. And you have a nice, neatly wrapped extension cord to put back where you found it. The air hose is a similar retractable reel. It's mounted on the wall between the upper and lower shops. Again, you can pull it off the reel, nice and slow, and use it either in the top or bottom shop for wood or metal. This air hose is used for the air nailer. It also goes to both plasma cutters, so you may have the opportunity to use this. When you're done, again, gently pull on it, kind of like a window blind, and then let it go back in slowly. If it's not getting on the reel as it retracts, stop, because it's very difficult to put this back. And don't let it go back too fast. Nice and slow, just like that. Let's talk about appropriate clothing for the shop. First of all, closed-toed shoes are a must. Do not wear sandals or flip-flops to the shop. You could get very hurt. Boots are great, but even closed-toed sneakers will be fine unless you're doing very heavy work with metal. Long pants and long sleeves are a good idea, especially if you're going to be doing any kind of welding. If you're just sanding or doing light woodworking, short sleeves are okay. Make sure you tuck in all of your shirt tails. They could get caught in a tool, and that can get you hurt or damage the tool. Also, no jewelry, no necklaces or lanyards, anything that hangs off of your body, no big dangly earrings, and no rings. Rings can actually get your finger pulled right off in a tool. I take my ring off when I work in the shop, and I clip it to my keys, and that's how I keep from losing my ring. Basically, don't wear anything that can get drawn into a tool while you're working. If you have long hair, anything like sort of past, if you can put your hair up, if you can put your hair in a ponytail, then do it, right? And if it's really long, you may have to put it in a bun, but make sure that it's behind you so that when you lean forward, it doesn't get drawn into a tool. Also, no headphones. I know that a lot of headphones are wireless and they won't get pulled into a tool, but headphones are also a distraction. And if you're doing something dangerous and I need to shout across the shop to you, if you're listening to headphones, then you're not going to hear me, and that's a problem. Also, you won't be able to hear them very well because as soon as the vacuums or the tools are turned on, it's way too loud for headphones anyway. To stay safe while working in the shop, there are some things that you can wear here. For instance, there are jackets and smocks and gloves available if you're going to be working in the metal area. There are safety glasses and goggles in a bin and sort of scattered around the shop for if you're using hand tools or drill presses, sanders, saws, things like that. You may decide to buy your own. Please keep in mind that your prescription glasses are not safety glasses necessarily. They have to be specially rated as safety glasses. So if you wear prescription eyeglasses and you don't feel like getting safety glasses made, then you can wear a face shield, right? A full face shield. You should also wear a full face shield if you're working with any kind of chemicals, if you're grinding or cutting metal, if you're using chisels or working on the lathe. Basically anything that throws materials into the air or towards your face, you'd want to wear a full face covering to protect yourself from getting hurt. Also, ear protection. If you're doing something that is especially loud, what? Huh? Or if you have a sensitivity to loud sounds, if you have tinnitus, anything like that, there are some headphone ear protection pieces that are around the shop. Please take them off when you're not working. I can't hear you. so that if I need to get your attention, I can. When you first visit the wood and metal shop, please take the time to make yourself aware of the location of the sink, the eye wash station, the first aid kits, and the fire extinguishers. These are all very important things to know in case there is an emergency. If you or someone else gets hurt, please let me know right away, even if it's a small injury. If it's a serious injury, we should call 911 and administer first aid until paramedics come. There is also a data sheet right here hanging next to the door that has the address of this room and other important information should someone get hurt. It seems obvious, but in the moment, you may forget where we are or things like that, and it's good to be able to just look at the sheet.